We tend to think of discovery as going to the outer reaches of the solar system and let's land on Mars. And it's amazing how little we know about the planet we live on. How many species are out there in the world? How do we find new species? Why does it matter? My colleagues and I have been studying these groups of salamanders for various periods of time, and this particular example is a species that we discovered based on extensive analysis of these different populations of salamanders over several years. And interestingly, if you go back to 1963, there was a biologist, and we named this species for him. His name is Barry Valentine, and he studied salamanders in Mississippi way back. And he published a paper in which he said, you know what, I've looked at these salamanders in Mississippi, and they just look a little different to me in some respects. But it turns out Barry was so perceptive that he was able to see these very subtle differences, which turned out to be differences between species. In fact, we named this species Desmognathus valentini in honor of Barry, because he's the first person who recognized that these populations in Mississippi were morphologically distinctive, that they look different. It's sort of a nondescript little brown salamander that lives in these sort of muddy seepage areas, freshwater little streams and muck. And even if somebody were to go around walking through that area, you probably wouldn't even know they were there. They're basically these very hard to find, quiet members of the community out there. You don't notice them like you notice birds or trees or bugs. It's just a distinct species that nobody realized was there. This is a species that has never been described formally by, in science before. Describing a new species for the first time, it's a very humbling kind of contribution that you get to make, yeah.